What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Crazy day in the stock market. A lot of stocks hitting their all-time highs. So in this video, I wanted to discuss the S&P 500. It did something last week that it hasn't done since the market crash. And in light of these stocks hitting all-time highs, what are some opportunities left? What are some top stocks that you can buy now that have an opportunity to reach all-time highs as well? So let us get right into it. Nvidia hitting all-time highs, Tesla hitting all-time highs, Shop, Apple, Microsoft, the NASDAQ hitting all-time highs. I'm not done yet. Zoom hitting all-time highs. And I'm glad we own most of these stocks. And I sent out alerts for most of these stocks what seems like a long time ago now in June, because we're in June now. I sent them out in March. Definitely holding on to them, not thinking about letting go of these stocks just yet, especially not the blue chip ones. All of our option plays clicking as well. We have options on Nvidia up 35%. I have an option on NKLA that expires end of this week. NKLA just needs to close above $65 for me to collect 100%. CVM, we opened this yesterday, currently up 13%. Also have options on IWM, which is up 17%. JPM up 32%. Currently down on an Iron Condor on EAT, which is down about 14%. My American Express is up 38%. If you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description where I send out all these, including the stocks that are now currently at all-time highs, where I did send out alerts for when they were near the market crash bottom. All right, let us get into the S&P 500, and then I'll go over the stocks that you can buy now where there is still opportunity for them to hit all-time highs. Some of them are sympathy plays based on the stocks that are up now. Some of them are riskier than others, but I'll go over them. So looking at the SPY, this is what I wanted to alert you guys to. This has happened for the first time since the market crash. These right here are called pivot points, and they're basically just simple calculations of support and resistance. You see the R's and the S's, and then P is the midline. That's the pivot line. I have a day trading strategy based off of this specifically with the SPY as well. That's pretty easy. You could probably see the pattern here, but I'll go over that in a later video. But looking at this is the first time. Last week was the first time that the SPY actually crossed one of the resistance levels. You see that since the market crash, every time it rallied just enough to get above the pivot line, the current pivot line, the yellow, but it was not enough to get above the resistance line. Well, last week it got above the resistance line. We gapped up today, and the SPY is up about 0.5%. So if we cross above 315 tomorrow in the SPY, then we will be retesting this resistance line, which is a bullish sign. And if you look at the stochastic RSI, you could see that we are still near oversold. So it looks like we have an opportunity to grow in the short term. Another interesting thing, if you look at all-time high stocks like Apple, right? I mean, it's just crazy. Apple's at 366. We're currently up 63%. I can't believe I got Apple for around $230 just a few months ago. But if you overlay the S&P 500 over Apple and you compare it, you'll see that every time Apple hit an all-time high, the S&P also hit an all-time high. This orange line right now is the S&P 500. So this is really the first time that Apple has hit an all-time high, first time in a long time. Obviously, going back to the 80s and 90s, I'm not counting that, but this is the first time in a long time that Apple has hit an all-time high where the S&P wasn't also at an all-time high. They seem to be very correlated. So this means one of two things logically. Either the S&P 500 will continue to rally, right, to match up with what some of these major stocks are doing, these trillion-dollar companies are doing, or these trillion-dollar companies will retrace and sort of revert to the mean. I wouldn't be surprised if Apple does retest some sort of form of resistance. It may not be this resistance here, the resistance that's at 324. It may be one of these resistances up here, these newly formed ones. Also, if you pull up something like the moving averages, you can kind of see where a logical retrace point is for Apple. Currently, the 21 EMA is around 338, 339. So, it's plausible that we see a retrace there. But anyway, based on the fact that the SPY, the stochastic RSI and the SPY is still that low, and if tomorrow we retest this R1 level on the pivot points, then it is likely that we are moving to all-time highs, back to all-time highs for the SPY, which is at around, 339, 340. Throw in the fact that the Fed has shown that they're willing to do anything and everything to keep the stock market run going, at least while the pandemic is still a thing. So what stocks can you buy now that still have an opportunity to hit all-time highs? Well, there are a few. Most of them are in the tech space, but some are in the retail area as well. If you look at AMD, I mean, based on what NVIDIA is doing, AMD could be a great sympathy play here, especially as it is forming this symmetrical triangle, right? It's getting squeezed into this very tight zone here on the 1 day. And if you take a look at AMD at its historical volatility, you'll see that here's AMD's historical volatility chart. You'll see that this light green, it might be hard for you to see, maybe so, maybe not. But anyway, the current implied volatility is below the historical volatility, meaning AMD's volatility is very low at the moment. So not only would I entertain, buying AMD, but I expect it to make a large move. Now, it could be a move in either direction. Volatility doesn't tell you which direction it's going in, but based on what NVIDIA is doing, based on what I think the market will do in the short term, I expect AMD to rally back to $60 and potentially form all-time highs. So AMD is definitely on my list. I'm even looking at call options, considering the fact that the IV, the implied volatility, is low, which means that options are presumably priced at a discount at the moment, and we might be able to take advantage of an IV spike. VMware is another one. This one moved so much after market because there are rumors that Dell is going to acquire VMware. It already owns 81%, but Dell is looking at buying the remaining 19%, acquiring the company entirely. And if you look at VMware after market, it is currently trading at $163 and it closed at $149. So it's up around here after market, and all-time highs are not that far away. All-time highs about 205. So I definitely like VMware long term. Sono is another one. This one you guys probably know, but there are rumors that Apple was thinking about acquiring Sono. Now, Sono IPO'd at a little bit over the $20 range, I believe, and it's currently trading at $14 after gaining 17% yesterday. But if it's true that Apple is going to acquire Sono, then you can expect Sono to see another surge, potentially past $20. Sono was in this long-term accumulation phase beforehand anyway. Let's take a look at Beyond. Beyond is a stock that I currently own as well, forming a very nice, what you call an Adam and Eve pattern, or technically an even Adam pattern, since these are usually inverted, but you are seeing the rounding bottom come first, and then you have this valley, this sharp valley. This is called an Adam and Eve pattern. And if Beyond Meat can break out of this resistance here at around 165, then we will likely see it retest its all-time high, which it achieved last year at around 235. Now remember, Beyond Meat is currently the only public traded company that's in this space, at least at the scale that it's in. Memphis Meats and Impossible are not yet publicly traded companies. They're still private companies. So I assume they'll IPO at some point, but Beyond Meat can easily achieve all-time highs, in my opinion, over the long term. CRM, Salesforce, this is another one hitting resistance here. Its current resistance is at around $195. It's back to where it was before the pandemic crash. And if you take a look at its long-term chart, you'll see that barring the crash, CRM is, basically one long uptrend like the rest of the tech stocks in the market. So especially after retesting the 200 weekly EMA here, the green line, barring another crash, the trajectory of CRM is only up. Another company with a chance to break all-time highs, this is again in the retail space, Lululemon. It actually did hit its all-time high recently and then retraced to the 21 EMA. We're currently up around 51% on Lululemon. I ended up buying it a little bit after the week of the stimulus, but any opportunity to grab Lululemon on the 21 EMA retest, I'm going to go for it. And again, if you look at Lululemon's weekly chart, you'll see just how bullish it is. Of course, there are many more stocks. We haven't even gotten into potential pure plays like NKLA or Workhorse, or even riskier plays like Shell, but I can't get into every single stock. Those are just some ideas for you to think about which stocks haven't hit all-time highs yet, but still could be on their way. Oh, another one that everybody forgets about is Google. So it was slower to recover than most other tech stocks, and you can see that it's still not yet at its all-time high, but I expect it to get there soon enough at around 1530, especially with the golden cross that you see here between the 50 and the 200 moving average and the 50 and the 100 moving average, the retest of the 21 EMA already. But yes, sign up if you want access to the trade alerts where I sent out all of these trades, my options trades, my stock trades, long-term, short-term. If you're having trouble trading options or would like to take it to the next level and want one-on-one training with me, sign up. That link is in the description. I only take a handful of people every month. The spots usually go fast by the first of the month, so sign up on July 1st if you want to be considered for the next round. Leave a thumbs up if you get anything out of this video. Leave it in the comment section below. Get active. Let me know what it is you're trading. Help each other out. Help me out. I'm genuinely interested in this stuff. And obviously, I can't see every single play, so I gain a lot of perspective from reading other people's trades as well. Subscribe to the channel. A lot of you that watch aren't subscribed. No excuse not to. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.